Okay, guys, another draft down, another 12-teamer. Let's review this. We're in the seventh spot on this one. We got Jefferson again with the first pick. We're gonna go over this draft as far as the part I liked the most, the scariest part, and then we're gonna compare it to this team right here because they have a similar build with 10 wide receivers also, just like me. So as we go through this draft here, uh, my favorite part of the draft was also my scariest part of the draft, believe it or not. I felt like, pretty much chalk to start the draft with the first two picks. Jackson got him around where he goes usually. I think I got him maybe slightly later than where he goes usually, but not much later, basically where he goes. Andrews got him slightly later than usual, but I paired him with Jackson. That was just normal stuff going on there. Then actually, Jacobs, Jones, and Montgomery all fell. And then actually Addison, Hopkins, and Goddard also fell. So this was kind of my favorite part of the draft a little bit, just because I haven't taken this many running backs so quickly in a draft. In fact, this one was kind of crazy in that usually I have many more wide receivers this early, is what I've been finding. This one, I went QB, tight end, running back, running back, running back before I picked up my final third wide receiver. So much later than usual here. This part right here, Jacobs, Jones, Montgomery, Addison, Hopkins, my favorite, and the scariest part of my draft, if you ask me. My favorite because I got ADP value on all these, and again, I don't draft a lot of these running backs as often as maybe I'd like. I don't know as often as I'd like. I just don't draft them that often, and I ended up with Addison as my number three wide receiver and Hopkins as my number four. Um, and then I went and grabbed Goddard, which this was the first time I took him. I kind of took him because he fell past ADP a bit and I hadn't taken him yet. I needed a second tight end. There was nothing else that I truly liked at this point in time that I thought was a value. So I thought if there's a time to take him, it's kind of now. It was a little bit of a throwaway pick in a way, but it actually ended up working out. Um, the, the thing that makes this scary is that again that I got a not a great third wide receiver or flex here. Now, um, I did make up for it a little bit. I made up for it by drafting a ton of wide receivers to end the draft. One, two, three, four, five out of my last six picks were all wide receivers. Two of them, two of them were Ravens to match up with Jackson, who I got right here as well. So hopefully I made up for my lack of great wide receivers with some quantity and hopefully some guys that kind of hit here at the end too. We'll see. If I compare them to this team right here, one thing I found interesting was that they took 10 wide receivers also just like me and one less running back. And I thought, oh, they got Hall with the first pick. That makes sense for them to maybe take five. They might have an interesting build. Let's see. Uh, I think they went a little wrong here, though. I do like how they started running back and then wide receiver, wide receiver, wide receiver. And then even here, that's okay. That's pretty good. So I probably would have taken him if he dropped to me. So, or Jacobs, one of those two. And so this part of the draft, pretty darn good. Even Richardson, pretty darn good. Then they went two more wide receivers. That's cool. That's nice. This is where I think they went wrong. They got Brooks as their second running back. I mean, if you want to do it, do it. That's cool. But he's not going to be starting the season most likely, and you don't know what's going to happen. Hopefully, you're going to make up with it something else later on. But instead, they went wide receiver again, and then they went backup running back, unknown, then tight end, two more wide receivers, don't know why, backup running back, maybe a little bit better than Corn for this situation, but still probably not going to start the season off strong. You think Jones is going to play until he gets hurt. And then they went another guy that is not a great play for the beginning of the season. So they only really have one real running back to start the season. A team like this, are they going to fall too far behind at the beginning because they can't produce enough points at running back? Also, I mean, they're weak at tight end too. Frymuth and a rookie in Sanders as their two tight ends. Unless Frymuth does what he's always been projected to do but never has done, it's going to be a weak tight end room, a weak running back room, and you're going to be relying on all these wide receivers, which is good, except how many of these guys down here are going to play? If I was him, I probably would have taken one of these guys instead of Brooks, or maybe even better, instead of Thomas, take Williams, Edwards, Singletary, or instead of Corum, let's see, take Brian Robinson, maybe even Elliott or Brown as well, one of these guys. And you can do a couple flips here. If you go and you took, let's say, for example, you took, let's say you kept Brooks, you wanted him, trade Corum for Robinson, and then let's say for tight end, you end up with Musgrave instead of Frymouth. I think that's fine. I don't really see too much of a difference there. Or here, you take Moss instead of Brooks, and then you just kind of swap there. Actually, as we go up, this might have been even better. Instead of Thomas, take Williams, right? And then instead of Corum, take whoever you want. I mean, I might even want Dalton Schultz instead of Frymouth here. So you go and you take Williams. Maybe Goddard falls to you because you took a running back instead of a wide receiver. Schultz, probably not. And then down here, you end up with your wide receiver, and you take Lockett. Don't take my player, but you get Lockett. So yeah, one last thing I want to say about my team that I think I like overall is that when I went light on wide receiver, I took a possible player that could do something really nice in the second year. I took some safer players as far as hopefully some known production, at least at the beginning of the season, Hopkins and Lockett. And then after that, I followed it up with a bunch of more like unknown boom bust type players. Third year, will he break out or not? Probably not. Followed by first year rookie, new situation, and then rookie. So I kind of like how this turned out. If we look at how this team stacks up against some of the other times that I've drafted these players, you can see that these guys were all taken basically around where they're drafted, or not even earlier, like Andrews I took much earlier. But then Jacobs I took much later than average than I have in other drafts. Jones a little bit after, Montgomery a little bit after, Jordan Addison a little bit after, Hopkins for the first time, so first share of Hopkins, Goddard first share of Goddard, Tyler Lockett past ADP, even Jerome Ford past ADP, Rocco Didwell past ADP, and not until here did I start reaching for players a little bit. I don't feel bad about it because I feel like they fit my team really well, even though I reached for them. So let me know what you think. Do you like the team? Is this one good enough to make it into the top 3 and cash out? Let me know. See you on the next one. Peace.